Hi friends, in this video we will learn about inverse of division. Inverse of division is multiplication. So if you see here, if you divide by a given number and then multiply by the same number, you will arrive at the same number you started with. I will show you an example for inverse of division. Here is an example for inverse of division. So 3 times 7 equals 21. So that is a multiplication sentence. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. That is a division sentence. So if you see here in the division sentence, I have started with 21. I have started dividing 21 by 7. And I'm getting a whole number 3. Right? And then when I multiply the 3 by the same number 7, if you see here, multiplying by the same number 7, so that I'm arriving at the same number that I started with. If you see here, I started with 21 and I've arrived at 21. So this is inverse of division. Multiplication has the opposite effect to division. Let us see a problem. Max arranges 12 note cards into rows of 6 for his presentation. Draw an array to represent the problem. How many note cards did Max arrange? Max arranges 12 note cards into rows of 6. So here 12 is the total, and into rows of 6 means the size of each group is given. And what is being asked is, we have to draw an array to represent the problem. We are going to solve this problem by RDW process. You have to read the question. D is for drawing. There should be a diagram in it. And then you have to write the number sentence. And finally a statement. Okay, so the total number is 12 note cards. And size of each row is 6. Okay, so this is an array. So this is an array that represents the problem. If you see here, there will be total number of the total number will be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And each dot represents one note card. There are 2 rows of 6. So this is the first row of 6 and this is the second row of 6. You know that 6 plus 6 will make 12. This array represents this problem. Now let's see the division sentence and multiplication sentence, and it's an inverse of division. Okay, it's an example. 12 divided by 6 equals what? That's an unknown. We already know that 12 is the total and 6 is the size of the group. So the one we are going to find is obviously going to be the number of groups. So let me divide 12 divided by 6. So this is the first group of 6 and the next group of 6 is right there. So how many groups are there? 12 divided by 6 gives 2. Okay, so we got a whole number 2. Let me write the same 2 here, and when I multiply with the same 6, I arrive at the same number that I started with. For example, I started with 12 and I arrived at 12. So this is an example of inverse of division. 12 divided by 6 equals 2. And 2 times 6 equals 12. What is the unknown factor here? 2 is the unknown factor. That is something that we found, right? 2 is the number that is the whole number that we found. So the unknown factor here is 2. And this 2 is also called quotient, right? So this is the total or the dividend. 6 is the divisor. 2 is the quotient. What do the unknown factor and the quotient represents? You know that 2 represent the number of groups. So 2 represent the number of groups. That means the quotient or the unknown factor represent the number of groups. Okay, the question here is, Max solves the equation dash times 5 equals 35 by writing and solving 35 divided by 5 equals what? Or unknown. Explain why Max's method works. The blanks in Max's two equations represent the number of groups. Draw an array to represent the equations. So if you see here, Max is solving an equation dash times 5 equals 35. What he is doing is, he is solving it by doing 35 divided by 5. This problem is an example of inverse of division. If you see here, 35 dividend divided by the divisor 5 equals quotient. So this quotient in the division equation is a factor in the multiplication equation. Okay, let us divide. 35 divided by 5 equals what? So let's divide. 35 divided 5. So this is an array that represents, 35 divided by 5. So this is dividing it by 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I get 7 groups. So 35, the total is 35 divided by the size of the group is 5. So each group has 5 brown circles, and I get 7 groups of 5. You know that 7 groups of 5 is 7 times 5. So 7 times 5 equals 35. If you see here, I have started with 35 and divided 35 with 5. I get a whole number 7, and then I write this whole number 7 in my multiplication equation. And then I've multiplied with the same divisor, same 5, right? Here the divisor was 5, and here the factor is 5 again. And I ended up arriving at the same number that I started with, 35. So this is An example of inverse of division. Max's method works because Max has applied the inverse of division. And we have also drawn an array that represents this problem. I hope you understood the inverse of division that was taught in this video.